Last time on Rorsrps Sponsor Showdown powered by Monster Energy. Substitute Black Widow took a big racing win while Black Pearl finally got his first win of the season. Tonight's show is like nothing we've seen before here at Rorsrps. Concrete-based destruction, all powered by Hoonigan. This is Rorsrps Sponsor Showdown, and this is Monster Jam! Hello everybody and welcome to our final show of the season. My name is Preston Vieira and today we're in San Diego looking for our Hoonigan Racing Champion with quite possibly our most difficult track of the season. These turns, especially those turning boxes center track, are no joke. This track was designed with only the best of the best in mind, so our Hoonigan Racing Champion will have truly earned that title. But now, let's take a look at our racing bracket for tonight and see if you can guess who will be the one to master this beast of a track. Facing off first in round one, we got Gravedigger, who's going to be taking on Black Widow. Gravedigger back from that two-show substitution. Black Pearl is going to be taking on Bakugan Dragonoid. Bigfoot will face off against Sheriff. Mohawk Warrior is going to be taking on Metal Militia to close out round one. And waiting for opponents in round two, we have our top spot, Barbarian, looking for his first win of the season. Son of a Digger tied for that leading spot on the tour. Hoonzilla, our new substitute here in San Diego, that Hoonigan sponsored truck, looking awesome. And our tied truck for the tour lead right now, Thunder Rorsrps, who is in jeopardy of losing his spot here tonight in San Diego. But we are about to get started here. Our first two opponents are coming out onto the track now. Black Widow is going to be on your left, Gravedigger on your right. But before we unleash the thundering power of Monster Jam Racing, a quick shout out to our friends at Hoonigan. Just like these monstrous trucks, Hoonigan lives for adrenaline and precision. Check them out for high-speed gear, apparel, and online content that matches the intensity of Monster Jam Racing. Hoonigan, driven by passion. And now this is our race. We are going to get our first look at our track tonight. Both trucks pulling up to the starting line next to those jersey barriers, next to those containers. This track surrounded by containers. Gravedigger looking for his first win of the season. Black Widow looking to knock out Gravedigger, so he's just an inch closer to taking his second racing win this season as a substitute. And we go green heading through this first chicane. This is a concrete show. It is grippy out here until you hit this dirt. Gravedigger getting into a little bit of trouble heading into this first turn and under that container stack there. Now this is the turn that I said was going to give these trucks a lot of trouble. It is tight in there. Both trucks trying to make it up and compensate for that, but both of them coming up short in the turn. And Black Widow is going to be the first one out of there. Big struggle for these trucks, and I can only imagine it is only going to continue to be a struggle for these drivers. And they are struggling through this final donut here as well before taking on this J-hook here. Final turn, racing down the straightaway and over the jump to finish. Black Widow knocks out Gravedigger here in round one. Black Widow moves on to round two to attempt another racing title here in San Diego this time. Next out on the track though, we got Bakugan Dragonoid, who's going to be on your left, and Black Pearl, who made it to the final round with Black Widow last show in Anaheim. Black Widow looking for a racing, or Black Pearl, excuse me, looking for a racing championship, has not gotten one this season. Bakugan Dragonoid also looking for one, but he has not had the greatest racing or freestyle performance this season. But we are going green and heading into this straightaway over this little hump and nearly clearing that racing lane. Black Pearl clipping it just a bit, getting set up on the nose, but they are under that little overpass. And heading into this turn, Black Pearl clipping it, Bakugan Dragonoid clipping it as well. Black Pearl clipping it once again and going over. Bakugan Dragonoid still struggling in that turn, but he's on all 4 BKT tires, so he has a shot at making it to the finish line there, going out a little wide, nearly clipping those cars in this turnaround here. Having to check up on those brakes, nearly clipping that container. You don't want to clip these containers or these tires. You will get set up onto your lid, and but he doesn't do that this round. He does cross the finish line, and he will be our next opponent drafted here into round 2. Next out on the track, we're going to be seeing Sheriff take on Bigfoot. Bigfoot looking for his first win of the season. Sheriff as well. Sheriff is not necessarily known for his racing. He did face off against Thunder Rorsrps back in Detroit, giving Thunder Rorsrps his racing championship, which led to his first double down of the season. So he is looking for his first racing championship here in San Diego, but he really shines in freestyle. We'll see how he does later tonight as we go green here in round 1. Sheriff versus Bigfoot through the chicane. Both trucks looking good so far. Bigfoot a slight lead on Sheriff, it looks like. Solid turns from both drivers here through that underpass. Heading in, Bigfoot was looking good, but he clipped in. Down goes Bigfoot. That right lane, or that right side of your screen, is not doing these drivers any favors tonight. This track is difficult as it is, and if you clip that tire, you are going down. I think these drivers in that right side of your screen are just pitching it in a little too early maybe. Sheriff heading into this final turn now. You got to be careful there. We are on concrete, just to remind you. It is not as slippery, as slick as most of the tracks we've seen this season. You cannot quite drift around it as much as you have come to expect. This really is a driver's course here tonight, and you have to know your truck and you have to know your conditions if you want to succeed. Metal Militia coming out next on your left, and Mohawk Warrior Fire on your right, getting staged here to go racing to finish out round 1. Mohawk Warrior, a one-time freestyle champion. Metal Militia, a one-time freestyle champion as well. We'll see if they'll duke it out in freestyle later tonight, but we're going green and racing now. Both trucks looking solid. Mohawk Warrior, clipping that ramp in the chicane. Both trucks looking decent through that turn and into the underpass. Metal Militia a bit behind, but Mohawk Warrior is in that struggle lane as we talked about, but he's doing better than Metal Militia so far. Mohawk Warrior is. So we'll see how the rest of this race goes as Mohawk Warrior still leads heading through this final donut here before the J-hook. Metal Militia trying to keep up, trying to do what he can to come back here, but he gets picked up on 2 wheels, trying to fight it. He does end up saving it, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to come back from the mistakes he made this round. Mohawk Warrior gets that final placement into round 2, and that is going to do it for our first round of racing. Let's take a look at our racing bracket here for round 2. We're going to see a couple new performances tonight. We haven't seen these trucks perform tonight. We've seen them perform throughout the season, all except for Hoonzilla, and these are the turns that are giving these drivers the most trouble here in San Diego, and they are tight. I knew going into this that it was going to be difficult, but it is extremely hard for these drivers to make it around those turns. But if you guys are enjoying tonight's show so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We got a whole season of this stuff behind us now, but we got the World Finals coming up November 17th through the 19th. But let's take a look at this round 2 bracket here. Barbarian's going to be taking on Black Widow. Son of a Digger versus Bakugan Dragonoid. Hoonzilla is going to be taking on Sheriff, and Thunder Rorsrps will face off against Mohawk Warrior Fire. The first time we're seeing 4 of those 8 trucks tonight, and here's one of them right now. Barbarian coming out on your right. He's going to take on Black Widow, who's on your left. Black Widow, like I said, took that racing win in Anaheim last show just 3 weeks ago. Barbarian has performed incredibly all season. He is in the top spot of our racing bracket, but he really needs to go hard tonight if he wants to finally get that win that he's been looking for here. Both trucks looking good. Barbarian getting a little tripped up over the jump there, but he is looking better into this turn than Black Widow. Black Widow does seem to have a slight bit of a lead on Barbarian. Both trucks trying to make some changes from what they saw happen in the first round. Barbarian and Black Widow both looking a lot better than we've seen so far, at least as far as those turning boxes go. Black Widow, big mistake, Barbarian looking solid around that donut before taking on this J-hook, already into it. And it is looking like Barbarian will be moving on to round 3, our semifinals here in San Diego. Our final show of the season, getting into some trouble but pulling it back down. Black Widow, not enough tonight. We'll see what happens as the night continues here. Our next race of the night, though, Son of a Digger. First time we're seeing him tonight. He's going to be on your right. Bakugan Dragonoid on your left. And this is looking solid here. This is an excellent matchup in the real circuit, in the real world, and here in ROR SRPS. Bakugan Dragonoid has not been our top spot in racing or freestyle by any means, but these trucks are evenly matched. Let's say that. They are both pretty solid driving trucks. It's just how you drive it that could get you into some trouble here. Both trucks looking solid over that racing lane and heading into their first turn here. First big turn at least. Bakugan Dragonoid getting into some trouble. Son of a Digger, take it easy. You have a lead, but he's getting into trouble going over in the turning box. Bakugan Dragonoid trying a different approach here, and it's not necessarily working for him, but it didn't hurt him as much as Son of a Digger's attempt hurt him. Heading into this donut here around those Hoonigan containers. Coming up short in the turn. Not what you want to happen there. Just coming around it, trying to get adjusted here and fixed and get on the right track. But he is the only one to, have a shot at completing the race now. So he will take it and take that second spot in the semifinals. Definitely a tough night for these drivers. A bad night for Son of a Digger here in racing. We'll see if he can come back in freestyle and potentially take a win here. We'll see. Hoonzilla, the first time we're seeing him all season. That beautiful Hoonigan sponsored truck. Hashtag thank care on the tailgate. Donut Monster over there in your right side of the screen. Sheriff is over there on your left. And we talked about him earlier, looking to do well here in racing once again, get back into the final round, potentially grab his first racing win. But Hoonzilla, solid truck. We saw him do well in the qualifying rounds into the season, but he just didn't quite have it in him then. We'll see if he can do it tonight as he leads heading into this turn. Looking solid, a bit of a check up there, having to adjust in the exit of that container turn. Both trucks. Sheriff looking good around this turn. Sheriff, a major improvement from the last round. Definitely doing some things different, trying a new strategy, and it worked for him in that turn. But he does clip the container. Hoonzilla does not. Hoonzilla does have a lead heading into this J-hook. And it is slight. Sheriff keeps right up with him. But the first one to the straightaway. It's power to the floor. And it is close, but it is Hoonzilla advancing to the semifinals. A quick out for Sheriff. And a solid run for his first run of the night from Hoonzilla. Thunder Rorsrps, another truck. We haven't seen him yet tonight. We're seeing him now for the first time out on this track. And Mohawk Warrior Fire is on your left, looking to, like Sheriff, looking to improve. Sheriff, honestly, I got to go back to that for a second. Improved a lot in that turn. We'll see if that'll help or hurt these other drivers, giving them an idea of what they should be doing, should and shouldn't be doing. Thunder Rorsrps getting a little tripped up there. Mohawk Warrior looking better heading into this container turn here. And taking on the turning box. This is where everybody gets into trouble. Mohawk Warrior clipping it. Thunder Rorsrps not, but he is having to majorly adjust in that turn. But Mohawk Warrior is behind now as Thunder Rorsrps gets out of it faster. He may be advancing to the semifinals if he can just keep it controlled through this donut. He does. Mohawk Warrior trying his hardest to catch up here. He had a solid turn there, but it is going to be Thunder Rorsrps advancing to the semifinals, and that does it for your round 2. We are already into the semifinals. A quick night of racing tonight. We're blazing through this bracket. Barbarian taking on Bakugan Dragonoid to start out the next round, and Hoonzilla taking on Thunder Rorsrps. That, based on this last round, that is going to be an interesting race to watch for sure. If both trucks can keep it under control. I mean, that's really the biggest problem. These trucks are getting out of control, whether they're clipping the tire in the turning box or just struggling elsewhere throughout the track, like the container turn, whether it's the beginning container turn or the donut container turn. So, I mean, they're just struggling here. This is a tough track. You really have to be on the top of your game if you want to do well here in San Diego. Barbarian on your right now, Bakugan Dragonoid over on your left, and we are going green to kick off the semifinals. Through the chicane, Bakugan Dragonoid getting into a little bit of trouble, but he is in the lead over Barbarian, who is trying to pull it back underneath, getting into trouble. That jump kicked that rear end up in the air real high. Bakugan Dragonoid clipping the tire, not getting into too much trouble though. Relatively solid through there. Barbarian was looking good, out a little too wide, clipping that jersey barrier. And Bakugan Dragonoid makes another mistake. Will Barbarian come back here? He is a bit too far behind to come back now, but it might happen for him in this J-hook. Let's watch. Bakugan just too smooth through the J-hook. Barbarian struggling this time. It is gonna be Bakugan Dragonoid for the first time this season, advancing to the final round of racing. Bakugan Dragonoid has been on fire tonight, and it may continue into the final round. We'll have to see. I mean, the track itself is consistent all night so far, but it seems to be surprising these drivers back and forth, getting them into trouble or not. It's just, you know, subtle changes in the way that you drive that can make all the difference here in San Diego. But Hoonzilla over there on your right, lined up in stage now. Thunder Rorsrps, this is the race that I said was the race to watch here in this round. We're going green, and the sub is taking on the tour leader right now. Up and over that racing lane, both trucks clipping that center ramp there and taking on this container turn, and both trucks beautifully done through it. Hoonzilla starting out wide, launching through it, clipping the tire just a bit. Both trucks getting into some trouble in this turn. Thunder Rorsrps trying to keep up with Hoonzilla now, but Hoonzilla slips up. What a race so far. Thunder Rorsrps trying his hardest to keep that truck controlled here. Heading into this final turn, the J-hook here. Neck and neck into the straight. It is going to be another close finish here in San Diego, but it is Hoonzilla advancing to the final round. Your substitute tonight. This is the second show here on the Sponsor Showdown Tour where a substitute has made it to the final round of racing. We'll see if it'll be the second show that a substitute takes a win. Bakugan Dragonoid is going to be taking on Hoonzilla in this final round. And as we gear up for the thrilling final round of Monster Jam Racing, don't forget to gear up yourself with Hoonigan. The passion for speed, precision, and adrenaline doesn't end on the track. Hoonigan has everything you need to take your racing spirit to the next level. Check out their high-speed gear and apparel anytime, anywhere, online with Hoonigan. Driven by passion. Now, Bakugan Dragonoid has been on fire tonight. He's over there in the right side of your screen. Hoonzilla on your left, on fire since round 2. A solid racer here in San Diego on this concrete track. And this track has given these drivers a lot of trouble, not even necessarily in the concrete parts. They're keeping it controlled there, but once they get back onto the dirt, maybe it's the transition from, you know, texture to texture that's messing these drivers up. Maybe it's just the track in general, but this is a tough track for these drivers, and I knew it would be heading into it, but man, these drivers are struggling here. But these two have been on fire. Both trucks staged here for your final round of racing, and we're going green. Launching off the line, Hoonzilla clipping that jump, getting a little upset there. He is behind, heading into this first container turn. All trucks looking solid around it, heading into this turning box here. Hoonzilla, major slip. Bakugan, another slip as well. Trying to get it controlled here, and he's exiting the turn in reverse, spinning that truck around, entering the straight. Hoonzilla clipping the container, getting back on all 4 BKT tires, but that gave Bakugan just what he needed to catch up, and there's another mistake from Hoonzilla. Bakugan Dragonoid around the J-hook. Hoonzilla getting into trouble again. Not able to save it this time. Bakugan Dragonoid is your racing champion here in San Diego as Hoonzilla flips the truck and stays down. Bakugan Dragonoid has been chasing some type of win all season, and he hasn't, I gotta be honest with you, hasn't necessarily had the performance to back up those dreams. But here in San Diego, he proved that he can drive. And that's all he needed. You need to be able to know your truck and be able to keep it controlled in such an insane track. And what a move to finish out the racing night being able to get that truck in reverse and the mindset to keep it in reverse and get out of that turning box. What a move there. We saw Thunder Roars do something like that, but this is the first time we've seen it for no points here. Bakugan Dragonoid, a stoppy to backflip. That was incredible. And let's get one last look at him before taking a look at our racing points awarded here. Bakugan Dragonoid, first win of the season, 15 points for him tonight in racing. Hoonzilla, our runner-up, with 10. Thunder Rorsrps and Barbarian both going out in the semifinals with 6 points each. Mohawk Warrior with 2 points. Sheriff 2. Son of a Digger 2. Black Widow 2. All those trucks going out in round 2 tonight. While Metal Militia, Bigfoot, Black Pearl, and Gravedigger are all in the chopping block for freestyle, all with 0 points. And let's take a look at the season points awarded, because Thunder Rorsrps has regained the tour lead with 129 points, 4 points above Son of a Digger. Barbarian with 118 points, and Mohawk Warrior Fire with 105 points. Gravedigger with 81, Sheriff 78, Black Pearl 73, and Bakugan Dragonoid with 69. Metal Militia with 53, Bigfoot with 48, Black Widow 24, and our second substitute tonight, Hoonzilla, taking 10 points, all in racing alone. A great night of racing from everybody. It's a tough track out here. Some mistakes were made, but it's all good. We have freestyle to look forward to. But if you guys are enjoying the show so far tonight, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We got a whole season of shows behind us, 30 shows on this tour. World Finals is coming up November 17th through the 19th, and it is going to be incredible. Mr. Full Boogie Tilt himself, Tyler Reyes, is going to be co-hosting with me, and it is going to be a lot of fun for everybody watching. Qualifying, racing, two-wheel skills, and freestyle, and our 3 champions will be getting their first automatic bids into season 2 here, and that is going to be awesome as well. So be sure to subscribe and stick around. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in freestyle.